dreadful jumbles of seashells, along with strings of pearls, craggy antlers of dead coral, and glittering rhinestone seahorses. Those unfortunate mannequins looked like mermaids who'd fallen into Poseidon's treasure chest and come out much the worse for wear. I encountered yet more seashell trinkets in a rather unexpected place. At London's Natural History Museum, I was invited to go behind the scenes to the basement rooms where their phenomenal shell collection is kept. They have millions of specimens, catalogued and neatly arranged species by species, but as I walked in, the first thing I saw was a glass-fronted cupboard housing a miscellany of altogether more peculiar objects. The curators call this their cabinet of horrors. It contains the various shell paraphernalia they've been given over the years. Some are real shells, others are plastic replicas. Among the gubbins there are ornamental ships with sails made from scallops and a telephone shaped like a conch shell, taking the phrase "a word in your shell-like" to its logical conclusion after the Victorians noted that human ears have a spiralling shape similar to shells. There's a tiny shell-covered piano and a stack of cowrie shells, each with plastic eyes and a pair of wire-rimmed spectacles that transforms them into studious turtles. Gluing a pair of wobbly eyes on a cowrie is harmless enough, I suppose, but it's a far cry from the men and women who buried their dead with shells in a sign of great respect and mourning. I'm not saying we should go back to placing shells in graves, but you've got to admit that it's funny how things change. Even when they're not being sculpted into truly horrible ornaments, seashells have gained something of a reputation as cliched emblems of the beach and disposable tokens of all things nautical. Lots of us live in cities, permanently tuned into the digital world and out of the natural world. So it's perhaps no surprise that when shoppers buy flip-flops studded with cowries, or shell necklaces, or lampshades made from window pane oyster shells, most will have no idea where these things came from, or realise that they were made by living, wild animals. Despite all this, there is still something about seashells that even in our busy, modern lives makes many of us stop and wonder for a moment. We find them on beaches, we enjoy the feel of them in our hands, and we hold them to our ears to see if the stories are true about the sound of waves getting trapped inside. Then we take them home and arrange them on bookshelves or in the bathroom, where they remind us of a tranquil day at the coast and equip us with delicate connections to the sea. As well as being something elegant to look at and a small treasure we found ourselves, the shells whisper tempting questions. Where do the shells come from? Who or what sculpts them? How are they made? And perhaps more intriguingly, why? This book will answer those questions and many more besides. It's my attempt to set the record straight, to throw out the novelty knickknacks and reinstate seashells to their rightful place as glorious objects that can tell us so many things. I will explain how seashells can offer us insights into the minds of our distant ancestors and teach us about beauty and form and the curiosities of life on Earth. I will tell the stories of some of the people who have devoted themselves to shells, people who have used them in ways that make the afterlife of seashells both surprising and splendid. And I will put the animals back inside their shells and reveal the extraordinary lives of the shell makers. Take the seashells known as giant tritons, named after the Greek demigod, and often used to make trumpets in the real world. Now and then they can be spotted, swaggering around on coral reefs in the Indian and Pacific Oceans, their huge shells in tow. With handsome elongated twists like polished tortoiseshell and bigger than an actual trumpet, these are one of the largest and finest of all the seashells. From under a triton's shell protrudes a single muscly foot, covered in leopard spots, a pair of yellow and black striped tentacles, and a pair of piggy eyes. Their highly sensitive tentacles probe and taste the water for the whiff of dangerous animals that plenty of other reef denizens hope never to bump into. Crown of thorns starfish are the size of car wheels and are covered in a tangle